Well, well, well. Look at what the cat drug in. It's been a minute, and I've just been doing other things. And earlier in the year, or maybe, I don't remember how long ago it was, I had this idea. I thought it would be funny as a comeback to, since there's so many fragrance reviewers on YouTube, that I thought it would be funny to review the reviewers. And I still think that's a good idea, but it's not for me. I don't even work in the business anymore, and I don't even watch fragrance reviews anymore. Basically, my YouTube viewing consists of watching a lot of nonsense. So there's just nobody out there that really is, that I've continued to watch as far as fragrance reviews go. And I think it is a good idea, and somebody should do it. Somebody that has been reviewing for quite a while. I think that they should do it. I think it would be funny if nothing else, but people are so sensitive nowadays; it may not be that funny. And so I kind of ditched that. Didn't even get started with it. Because I realized that would require me to watch videos. But anyhow, I just guess I kind of, over in recent years, just got kind of underwhelmed by the reviewers that were out there. And, I just didn't get it. There's these people doing fragrance reviews that, they're reviewing Clive Christian and Killian and Creed, basically reviewing it off a sample, I think. And, these are people that would never be hired at Neiman's or Saks. And they're reviewing these high-end fragrances, and they're just kind of scary, I think. And then you have their most popular reviewers that I think are the most obnoxious. And, and one of the things that I do want to address in this video is the idea that some of these reviewers are working for fragrance companies. And of course, in recent weeks, that has been asked of Jeremy Fragrance, more like Jeremy Cologne, if you ask me. But, and, I don't know how it goes in Europe, but I can tell you that in the US, there are no YouTube reviewers that work for L'Oreal or P&G Prestige or Estee Lauder. There are no reviewers that are on their payroll. These companies don't operate like that here in the US. Now, there could be the possibility that there's somebody that has worked for one of these fragrance companies and they started to review fragrances. That's a different story. But fragrance companies aren't plucking up YouTube reviewers and putting them on their payroll. Best case scenario is you might be getting a tester or two out of the company, but that's it. So I don't know about what they do in Europe, but I don't think that he is working for a fragrance company. He most likely knows somebody that is and has connections. And I think that he probably saw YouTube fragrance reviewing as an opportunity. And I personally, I don't get any passion from him. It's just, it's like, watching one of those people that, goes around and does motivational speaking and tells you how you can make $1 billion type thing. And these people are just coin operated. And so, yeah, with that being said, I don't think he works for a fragrance company. If there are people that think that, I kind of doubt it. But, you know, it's the two, like I said, the two most popular seemed in the fragrance YouTube reviewing community have the worst egos and are very full of themselves. And he's one of them. And I'll bet you he probably has no idea who the first, let's just say the first 5 fragrance reviewers on YouTube are. I'll bet you he couldn't tell you, and I'll bet you he didn't care. And, you know, the only thing I can say is at least he's pretty. And he's obviously popular. And of course, you know, we all know who the other one is that's got an inflated ego that's extremely popular. And it was kind of off-putting to me, and I guess that's what fame does to people, to some people. It blows their head up. And it was just kind of off-putting to me that, you know, I'm not blaming them. It's just a reason I just don't watch many reviews anymore. Just don't, I don't know. And I guess because I've been in the business for so long, and, you know, it seems like there's very little that comes out nowadays that's exciting, I think. It's sad to me to see companies sell out to Estee Lauder. You know, I like Kilian. I mean, if I had what he had, Estee Lauder would not have any part of it, 1% or 90%. I just wouldn't do it. And I don't, maybe it's not selling out, but I just wouldn't get involved. He was doing fine without them. And you know, I'm doing this video is going to be a one and done, and I'm not doing it over and over, and I'm not editing it. It's going out as is. And by the way, iMovie has changed so much since I've done this last. I couldn't even figure out what I had to do, and it's changed a lot, and not for the better if you ask me. But so, you know, that's basically my spiel on, as far as I did want to, like I said, address the situation with Jeremy. Like I said, I feel pretty confident in saying he knows somebody at L'Oreal probably that can get him places and product and that kind of thing. And that's fine. But like I said, I think obviously the ones that are most popular, and he's probably the most popular at this time, you know, they're doing it for the likes. They're doing it for, you know, the number of subscribers, and they're doing it for views, which translates to money. And, you know, no fragrance reviewer will ever be like what Tyler Oakley is. That'll never happen. But, you know, it's still pretty respectable, you know, what you can get off a lot of views if you monetize them. So I just see it as being completely, you know, driven by that, honestly. But anyhow, you know, I don't know what I'm going to do on this channel going forward. I know my place in YouTube fragrance reviewer history. I know where it is. Even if Fragrantica doesn't. And all I'm going to say about that is they're a good 4 or 5 years late to the party. So I guess better late than never. Um, what else do I want to address? Okay, going back to the reviewers again. I don't think that the most successful ones are the most popular ones. Of all the fragrance reviewers that have been on YouTube, in my opinion, the most successful is obviously Kerosene, John Pegg. He's killing it. He is doing so well to do what he is doing right now. And by having his own fragrance house, I mean, he put his money where his mouth is, if you want, if that's what you want to say. He is doing what I should be doing. But I don't think that I have the patience for trying to create a fragrance. I have a passion for fragrance, but I don't think I have the patience to do what it is that he's doing. And I think would have some good ideas, but I just don't. And I could start doing it, but I just don't. I just don't know if I want to be, bothered. Honestly, I think it would be very overwhelming to me. And he is the gold standard as far as what fragrance reviewer. I mean, he's done it, and even before he started doing fragrances, he had great reviews. I mean, he was entertaining, he was knowledgeable. I mean, you never got tired of seeing his reviews, and so he was definitely a favorite, and he is certainly the most successful, and that is what I think. That is who I think the most successful YouTuber is, as far as fragrance reviewers go. Not the person with the most subscribers, and not the person with the most views. So, with that being, I'm trying to think too what else. I should have done bullet notes or something. This was just kind of a last minute thing, and I felt like I should put something out there, to let people know where I am and what I'm doing, which I'm not doing much other than looking out this window. It was fun. I mean, I enjoyed doing what I did, and I haven't been working for well over a year now. I had personal things going on with my mom, and I was helping her out. And, I might do some freelance work, here or there as time, if there's any that need help. It seems like fragrance companies are putting more money now into television ads, at least in the Denver market, than they are putting in staff in the store, So, I'm trying to think, is there anything else I wanted to say? I'd be curious to know. No, not really. So anyhow, this channel is Notes on a Fragrance, and it always will be. It'll always be mine. And, I'm on Facebook if you want to follow me there. It's, just under Patrick Youngblood, and I doubt there's many of those. And, I don't know what I'll do with this channel going forward. But anyway, I I think that's all I wanted to address was basically my opinions, my opinion on where, how I feel about fragrance reviews and, or the reviewers. And this is just my opinion, and I learned a long time ago too that this community I felt was a lot like high school. You had the same problems in high school as you do here. And, it just is, it's just how people's personalities are. And, these reviewers that, you know, don't, don't want to do any negative reviews, or they don't want any negative comments on their page, not negative comments in regards to the review they just did, but basically just negative comments in general. These reviewers that go through and weed all those out, I'm like, really? That's not the real world. Just people have opinions. And you know what they say, opinions are like feet and most of them stink. And I was nice about that. I kind of edited it from what it actually is. But anyhow, yeah, so not working, and that's nice. And I would do a few hours a week maybe for a particular company, only around the holidays. I don't want to work that much. And although it seems like it's getting scary nowadays, even in the malls, and that's something I had always wondered about too. I thought about in recent years is, people are crazy, and, they're off their meds, or they're on the wrong meds. And, people are going into stores now or into malls and shooting people and stabbing people. I'm like, good grief. And I always thought about that every time, especially around Black Friday, when there's thousands of people out and people's patients are gone and parking is a nightmare. And I was just like thinking to myself, golly, what could go wrong? It was so funny because when I was working at Neiman's, I made sure I knew where the closest exit was. And that's something you need to know nowadays, whether it be for a tornado warning or, an unhinged person that has no business out to begin with and should only be shopping online. So, anyhow, that's pretty much it. I can't think of anything else, but yeah, if anybody wants to keep in touch, you can do it through Facebook. And YouTube, I feel like, has gotten very convoluted recently with messaging and all that, and it just, I think, people just change things for the sake of changing it, not because it necessarily makes it easier or better. And Apple has gotten bad about that in recent years too, especially with iMovie and iPhotos. I think it's gotten more complicated or convoluted than it needs to be. But I look forward to reading comments about this. If there are any, who knows, I may not have any at all, so, and that's fine. It's, like I said, it's been a while, and I realize I'm not relevant anymore. That happens, so. Anyhow, I guess that's all I have for now, and I might do another video in 3 years or so, who knows, so. We'll see. If something really exciting comes along, like another great kerosene fragrance, and I could always review his stuff, and still be able to spell the name wrong too. So anyhow, that's it. I'll see you around.